I met him whenever he joined the band. It was pretty immediate, and my impression of him was that he had a vast reservoir of things to say and very little in terms of tools to say them with, and that he was kind of an instantaneous chorder. And I don't know what took me so long to ask him to write with me, because it turned out to be a wonderful relationship. We both decided we would do it even if we had nothing at stake, just because it was fun. But we did it together. Well, Clive Davis asked me to. He said, we need more Grateful Dead songs on this record. I think that's what he said. And I said, well, I don't know how to do that. And he said, well, everything you've done has been that. And I said, I never thought of it that way. I mean, but anyway, I wrote one for Clive. And then many years later, Brent and I become good friends, and it just became obvious that he had a lot of stuff he wasn't singing, and I had this idea that turns out to be a crazy idea, that the thing inside him that was trying to kill him would back off if he felt like he was getting the credit he deserved from the band and from the fans. But it turned out to be exactly the opposite, as I now understand. I mean, if you have fatally low self-esteem, bringing a resounding shout of slightly thoughtless high esteem from outside only makes it worse, and it can really dig you in. He was the only person that they all listened to in the onstage mix. They all had in-ear mic monitors. Everybody had a different mix, and many people were basically missing from some other people's mix. Brent was the only person that everybody was listening to, that he was what they were queuing on. He was usually important. Well, I think about Little Girl Lost practically every day, especially since I had my first granddaughter day before yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thanks. But that song really appeared to me as I was going up the driveway to his house, in its entirety, words, melody line, everything. I started up that driveway, and it was there when I got out of the car, and never had anything like that happen before or since. I've often said that writing with Brent was the most intimate thing I ever did with a man. It was a wonderful experience. When I found out that he was dead, I was doing an interview with John Markoff of the New York Times about computer security. Another field that I had moved into, and I was kind of moving away from the dead for a bit. And he told me what had happened, and I just started to cry. And I basically didn't stop crying for a couple of days. And then later, going to the cemetery with Garcia, I said, I've been thinking that I'm the only person that can be out front or backstage with equal facility. And I think I'm going to go out front for a while because it's just safer there. And he said, oh, God, man, don't you think that's what I would do?